how you doing? Now, I had a question the other day in the group. Actually, it was a personal message, but it was in regards to our Ask Me Anything Wednesdays, and I'll try to make it a bit broader so it can help more people, because what I like to do is give people the right principles and not actually answer the exact question, because the important part is getting the principles right, because when you get the principles right, then you're safe in real estate no matter what you're doing. It's all about having the right principles and really being centered on that. And one girl was asking, my sister doesn't earn a lot of money, and should she buy an old unit? And that was about it. Now, it's hard for me to answer that question because I don't know where the unit is and I don't know what it is. But what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the principles to help you think, how do I solve this question? And when you're looking at a property, how do I solve this problem? Well, first, number one, we're going to look at the property clock. And you've got to look at the property clock and see where you're at the property clock. So, for example, at the moment, Sydney, I would say Sydney and Melbourne are probably at 3 o'clock. So they're going down. They had a little bit of a jump back up, 1.5%, 1.9% recently, but they're going down. So the thing is, you really want to look at properties that are around 7 o'clock in the property market, because 7 o'clock is when they've had 4 quarters of growth. They're about to go up, and it's going to be easy. Now, while I'm doing this, I've been locked out of my house, so I thought I'd get dropped off and have a bit of it here on the phone while I'm waiting, because I forgot to bring the keys with me, but we'll work on that. Anyway, so where are we on the property clock? Now, Australia's got lots of property clocks, and the important thing is you've got to look at, in regards to the property clock, like, for example, a place like Sydney, there might be some places that are 3, but other places are at 6 or 7, so that's another thing. But I like to look at the macro situation first. And at the moment, I would say Brisbane is the number one spot to be at 7 o'clock. So if I was to look at a property, I'd be looking at Brisbane at the moment, because there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is because where it is in the property clock. But then there's 2 other metrics that I like to look at. And one of them is the demand-supply ratio and market cycle timing. And if you look at demand supply ratio in a lot of areas in Brisbane, the thing is with Brisbane's one of those funny places where you got some suburbs that are really good next to suburbs that are crap. And you got to be careful, because some suburbs have got the DSR right and other suburbs just don't have it. And there's a few suburbs in Brisbane I would put them on no-go zone. I just wouldn't buy them, no way, right? And you got to be very careful with that. But also what there's suburbs that I love that are really good because they've got a very high demand supply ratio, but also the market cycle timing's right. They haven't had a lot of growth recently over the last 4 or 5 years, and because of that, when you've got demand supply ratio pushing it up and you've got the market cycle timing that's given it that rebound effect. Sorry about that noise, some person in a Harley is cruising around. I'm just going to walk home. Anyway, so basically that's what you want. So you want that pressure of demand supply ratio and also the market cycle timing going into it. That's one of the things. But then once you've got that, the next part is, and this lady said, her friend didn't earn a lot of income. Well, the income that you've got has got to be the right balance for the property you've got too. So there's no, if you earn a small income, don't buy $1 million property. I know that sounds very basic, but what needs to happen is you need to get a cash flow calculator. And look, if you haven't got a cash flow calculator, I'm going to be dropping one in the Positive Property group. So actually it's called Property Secrets now. So come along to our Property Secrets group, come in, and I'll be able to give you a copy of our cash flow. Whenever you buy a property, what you want to do is get your cash flow calculator, and you want to make sure that when you get your cash flow calculator, that the number of the weekly costs are actually affordable, right? So, for example, normally I don't want to pay more than $20 or $30 a week per week for a property, because what I want to do is make it self-sustaining. That's the important part. So that's why you want the cash flow calculator as well. So once you've got those numbers done with the cash flow calculator and also with your tax, that's when you can balance it out and work out what you're buying. Is it worthwhile? Is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? That's really what it comes down to, because you don't want to be emotional about it. You don't want to complicate things. You want to keep it really simple, so should I buy this, shouldn't I? Because properties, let's face it, they don't say safe as Bitcoin or safe as shares. It's safe as property, safe as houses, you know what I mean? And properties double every 7, 10, 12, 15 years. That's the past. And look, the future doesn't necessarily lead to the past, but as Mark Twain says, history maybe doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. So what he's saying is, you can look at the past and you can sort of predict the future. So when you're buying a property for only $20 or $30 a week, or whatever you can afford, because if you can't afford that, you shouldn't be buying it for that much. But if you can afford that, and I think most people can, then what happens is you can just hold it long enough to make your money. Because money in property is made when you buy, but it's also when you make your money at a time in the market, right? It's being in the market long enough. Trying to be a speculator and waiting for that perfect time. There's never the perfect time to buy. That's the fact of it. There isn't a perfect time, so therefore you can't pick a perfect time, and you need to actually just go in the market, because if you're not in the property market, you're not making money out of property, right? That's the fact of it. You can't make money out of property if you haven't got any. So you have to have property to make money out of property, so therefore you've got to enter the market safely with a lot of research, but don't wait too long. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. They wait too long. They can't, they're like, wait till property price to go down, or they're waiting for property price to go up. Whatever you're waiting for, it doesn't matter. Long-term properties go up. As long as you buy at 7 o'clock and you got all the numbers right, it doesn't matter. You can just buy. That's what I'm saying. So don't rush into it, but once you're educated, once you know, get in there and just do it. You've got to take a leap of faith. You've got to get in the market. It's very important, because being in the market's important, because you make money not out of buying and selling, but actually accumulating and having time in the market. So that's my little rant for tonight. Beautiful sunset tonight. So happy Thursday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.